What's up, wrestling fans? We're getting ready for Monetize This tonight, and I'm going to be doing some stuff today. But WWE reportedly had another round of COVID tests. The WWE Performance Center went through so many of these tests. Multiple SmackDown athletes or wrestlers or members or just everybody from the whole crew was tested. So there were so many different people tested, but they're not disclosing who had these problems. But they are saying that Killian Dane was pulled, Danny Burch was pulled, and they were on NXT this past week. Some of this info came from various sources, but Mark Middleton's story on Wrestling Inc. is where I heard most of that from originally. So then apparently there's a couple other people that were also sick with these things, but we didn't hear who they were, so we don't really know who they were. Little story about Duane Foley, Mick Foley's kid. We've known for years, has worked for WWE as far as a writer goes. And apparently, we heard that he was in charge of something major for a while, and now that something major is just 205 Live, which really to me isn't that major. I mean, like 205 Live is all right, but I really haven't been. I don't even know what goes on. I don't even realize that product still exists, to be honest. And this came from Wrestling Observer newsletter. Foley and Adam Pearce are the main ones behind 205 Live Creative. But I don't even see anything from 205 Live, so I couldn't even tell you. I don't know. I mean, put those guys on the main roster. A couple of the people last night, we talked about AEW releases. A couple of the people, Sadie Gibbs and there was the other. Who was the other person? Sadie Gibbs. I know that she was Bea Priestley and Sadie Gibbs. The reason why they're not coming back was because of the travel ban or whatever that's going on. So they can't even work for AEW. So that's why they were released. That's the only reason. And then they said Sadie Gibbs was a project that they were working on, that she didn't even have, she wasn't even there yet as a wrestler. So they said Gibbs was reportedly brought in as a project, which is exactly what I said, because people were like, oh my God, they released Sadie Gibbs. Like, people were like acting like they were up in arms over the release of her. And it's like, why? What has she done? What the heck? Who cares? It's like people freak out over these indie names and they have no weight to anything. I don't understand that. But anyway, she's gone. But then the HAVOC stuff is as we thought, because of the whole issue, with the speaking out movement stuff and the allegations towards him and whatever else. So anyway, we'll have more on some stuff, just some follow-up things after last night's Out of Nowhere that we kind of talked about it all last night, but there was some things there that just little, additions to what we talked about last night. If you want to check it out, Out of Nowhere, it was live last night. I'll put a link down below. And I also did a Patreon thing yesterday for Note to Self. That's up. I'll have more coming today before Monetize This tonight live on my other channel, which is called Corrupted Nation. Go subscribe to it. And I may cover SmackDown tonight too. I say that every week, but I may actually do it tonight. I don't know yet. So we'll see. Leave some comments down below, and maybe I'll follow up in the next video with those comments. Shout out to the $25 producer patrons on my Patreon, patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Over 335 and growing. We'll see you tonight for Monetize This at the very least.